background story to it. It's not just about football, and like you can grow as a person from watching movies like that. The first article that I pulled up was titled "Can Movies Enhance Happiness?" It was by Ryan M. Niemiec and Danny Wedding. Early on in the article, they quoted Walt Disney, and he said that we do not think of grown-ups or children, but just of that kind, clean, unspoiled spot down deep inside of every one of us, that the world has maybe made us forget, and maybe our pictures can help to recall. So Walt Disney kind of sees his work as helping people find that happy place, escape from the world, distract, and kind of step back and just enjoy the little things in life. They backed it up in the article. They talked a lot about that quote and actually pulled in some other ones and just kind of backed up, like the idea that movies become a positive impact on our psychology, like when we can see it as like positive things, like escape, a way out, to be inspired. And then I posed the question as I was reading the beginning of it, like what are the negative sides of it? And then toward the end of the article, they brought up the negative effects to it. And they said, basically the woman decides on marriage based on a movie. This woman was going through a sticky situation with like her husband and her marriage, and she felt like it had stalled out. And she thought that she could gain she watched a movie, and it was actually recorded that like this movie was it was a love triangle where this woman left her, I think it was a Notebook actually, like where she left her husband or fiance to go be with the one, like her true love. So it ended up causing her to leave her marriage. And I mean, there's a lot of debate with that, like even though she left her marriage, it might have been good overall, but they basically said that as like a negative thing in the article, like things like that are negative. The young boy and the pigeon, this is crazy, I couldn't believe when I read it. Basically, this young boy with autism was watching this movie where this guy was, in the movie the guy saw like a sick pigeon, like a broken wing, so he wrapped it up in a newspaper and stomped on it to put it out of its misery. So the boy with autism thought that his gerbil at home was suffering, and it wasn't sick at all, so he takes it home and he like stomps on it and smashes it. And so they brought that up in the article, and they're like, there's negative things that come of movies. And so I was like, so what makes it like positive? Is everything that comes out of a movie like negative? Does that make the movie at all not a positive movie to watch? So later in the article they pointed out 4 criteria. The first one is basically having someone they can relate to as the main protagonist that has some sort of character strength they can relate with. They pulled out the 24 character, we actually took that test for this class at the beginning of the year, the 24 character strengths. They pull that out and talk about, that's one of the main things. And then a conflict or obstacle, which conflict we've talked about in this class too. And then how to get past it, how to triumph over it. And then, of course, the overall tone or message has to be uplifting and inspiring. So after that first article, I was like, well, there's got to be another side to it. Like, people watch sad movies. Me personally, like, I love like the darker movies. I'm fascinated by like villains and stuff like that. Like I pointed out, Criminal Minds is a TV show. It's not necessarily a movie, but just the idea and the dark approach like that. The Joker from The Dark Knight. I'm pretty sure like everyone's really interested in like his performance and everything. The Titanic, The Notebook, things like that. Like like where does it come in? The negative side of things, because I watch those for entertainment too, and even though like they're sad, like at the end of it, I'm still happy and things like that. So the second article talked largely on that, and basically, she pointed out gender differences first. She said females are more responsive to negative stimuli such as heartbreak, death, despair, and tears, and males are more likely to respond to positive, such as the bad guy gets what he deserves. The theory she pointed out on like why we enjoy like the sad side of things or the negative side of things is, first of it is our outlook. She said this is like when we're watching these movies, like she pointed out, this was a quote she said in the article. It's like, at least I'm not frozen on a piece of wood in the middle of the ocean while my boyfriend drowns. It's kind of like Titanic. When someone watches that movie, they're like, oh, at least I'm better off than that guy. And she brings up a couple other movies instances, but that was the biggest one that I got. Then there's the neurochemical approach. She got this from a guy who helped compose the article, Paul Zach. He's a professor and director of the Center of Neuroeconomic Studies. And he said When we empathize with other people, even fictional ones on screen, our brain releases oxytocin, which engages brain circuits that prompt us to care about others. And then the last thing, the last theory is kind of like a sense of community or connection. What this basically talks about is like if you watch a love story, like if I watch a love story with like my girlfriend, like she's gonna be like, oh, like he does have a sensitive side. So like as you're watching it, you know, you're gonna have that like connection with each other. Same thing if I watch a movie with a bunch of guy friends, like 300 or something, someone gets decapitated, we look at each other and we're like, yeah, like, oh, that was awesome. So it's like, you know, connecting like that too. And basically summary, overall, you know, are movies good for our well-being? I would say yes. Positive psychology, you know, like movies can present us with like all these examples of how we can use like aesthetics, leisure, and emotions, like capture like all of our emotions, as well as like escaping from the world. The first article, you know, talks about like strengths, conflict, triumph, and uplifting like tone and spirit. So that's like directly, you know, like what we've been learning this whole semester in this class. And the second one, even, you know, even the sad things increase our happiness and like capture our attention and can help us focus on being a more positive person. And then here's my references and that's all. Any questions? Yes.
What's your favorite movie and why? What is your favorite motivation for watching movies?
I don't know. I guess I have like I really love the Lord of the Rings series. The other two of my favorite would probably be The Dark Knight and the Hannibal Lecter series. I don't know. I just love the Hannibal Lecter series just because it's dark. I'm fascinated with like the intelligence and like the dark side of things. My favorite inspiration, I don't know, for watching movies. I watch all kinds of movies. So I don't know. Depends on what mood I'm in, I guess.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah.